Hey, what's happening? What's going on? Let me get the chat up. Let me get the chat up. Let me talk to me, man. Put something in the chat. Um, Let me know if y'all can hear me. Put something in the chat for me. Let me know. What's up, Miss Flo with an E? Miss Flo, where that E at, man? What's up with the E? E symbolizes energy. E equals MC square. Miss Flo with a E. What's happening? What's going on? Let me get into my home get into my own vibe. What's up? What's up, party people? Miss Flo with the E. What's happening? Somebody gotta click the thumbs up button, man. Everybody click the thumbs up button for me. Nah, man, we need that E, man. We need that E. Man, what is that? Oh, it's one of them. Like this big old bug trying to fly in here. Um, but thumbs up, everybody, for me, man. What's happening, man? You know me, man. I like to get started on time, man. But this is not gonna be a long episode, so I will kind of give it a little bit of time for people to get in here. Then I got to get back to my Sabbath game, man. Get back to my Shabbat. Happy Shabbat. Happy Sabbath. The Shabbos. The Sabbath. Um, Beautiful balance, man. Beautiful balance. I was gonna do something on that today. But when you're dealing with the Sabbath, if you understand the Hebrew letters, the first letter sh that represents fire, and the last letter is a T. This is the Tau. It represents Saturn. And I said, that's very interesting that the Sabbath, the day of rest is fire and Saturn. And those two energies are total opposite each other. Saturn actually nullifies the fire because Saturn rules Capricorn, which is a cold energy in a sense. But Saturn is the sign of work. So why would you rest when it's this planet that deals with work? And I'm telling you, I had thought I had brought my other book because I probably would have did that today and did this tomorrow because this show was supposed to air tomorrow. But I'm definitely gonna do it. I'm gonna show you the balance between Hebrew words when they do stuff. And again, if you're paying attention to what I'm saying with the Sabbath, the Shabbat, the Shin represents fire, which is activity, masculine. Fire is motion. Um, and Saturn represents the constriction, right? The constriction of it. But when it's Capricorn, it represents when Saturn rules Capricorn, it's hard work. So why would you put the planet that deals with hard work, the sign, the letter that deals with hard work, you know what I mean, and take a rest? Because rest is the balance to the hard work. You see what I'm saying? And so the Jewish culture, man, they their words and their functions of which they do things are, I'm starting to really understand, is perhaps the most balanced between male and female dynamic system out there. Seriously. And it makes sense because when you look at them, you're like, dang, they successful in this, they successful. Family, I think when it comes to the family unit and when it comes to business units, they probably the top, right? And we all know that. Trillcast in the building. What's going on? Armil. Is that Armel or Armil? How you say that? What's happening? Trillcast in the building. What's up, bro? What's going on, man? Reginald Wade, what's going on, Ampu? You and Jew, my big homie for eternity, man. We appreciate you, man. Absolutely appreciate you. Let me turn this plant music down some. I keep these R-mail. Gotcha. So I keep my plants. They listen. Hold on. Yeah, man, my babies listen to plant music all day. The fifth house, there she go. Happy Sabbath. It's my candle lighter right there. Don't she glow in that picture? Girl, you got glow. We see you glowing. Armel, that's what it is. What's up, Armel? What's going on? We appreciate you for tuning in. But yeah, if everybody do me a favor, click the thumbs up button for me. Click the like button so we can kind of notify the crew that we up in here. You know what I'm saying? Do that for me real fast. I am going to bear with me for a second. I'm gonna go over there to fake book. I don't even know why I even mess with Facebook. I don't like Facebook. Let's see a bunch of they say in New York, what they used to say? Perpetrating a fraud. Give me a second real fast, y'all. I'm about to actually make this post. Bing. Let's do it like that. Let's go ahead and do it like that one time for your mind. Go my guy right there, Justin, aka Just Blaze. What up, bro? What's happening, man? What's happening? Let me come over here to where we at? Come on, man. Everybody that's in here gotta click the like button. Y'all cheating. Everybody in here real fast. Come on, click the like button so we can get started. This ain't gonna be long. I'm gonna blaze this thing real fast, and we're gonna get on up out of here, you know, and end this Sabbath in nice fashion, you know. So do me a favor, everybody click that thumbs up button for me real fast, like immediately. While you're doing that, let me do some quick housekeeping, right? So listen, man, got 2 podcasts. If you don't know, now you know. iTunes, Spotify, wherever you go, check out Cosmic Conversations, check out Spiritual Politics, subscribe to both of them. Got some content over there. I'm about to get back over there. Been a little busy. But subscribe to those 2 podcasts, Cosmic Conversations, Spiritual Politics. So if you're on the Android, you can go to Google Podcasts. You on the iPhone, you already know what to do. Hit that podcast button. All right. If you want to learn some astro stuff, right? Join the Patreon, man. I like direct answers. I do one-on-ones. You hit me up and you got a question, I do that. Like, I'll do it. That's what you want to do. Do that. All right. It's only $15. And there's certain videos. They got 2 big long ass videos that's over there. Y'all may have saw clips of you in the barbershop. That whole conversation that I recorded, produced by yours truly, is over there on the Patreon. All right. There's certain stuff that's over there. In fact, my people, they got it first on Patreon just to show them. But y'all know me. I also do real estate. I got a banging ass opportunity right now that is all I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna talk about this, and we're gonna get into this. All right. I'll show you how to get a free house, in this case, it's a free condo. But you just gotta have the plan money, but you're gonna get it back and you have 0 in the game. So pay attention, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to tell you. Okay. So I got an opportunity right now where a guy wants to sell his condo for $70,000, already rented, Section 8, 3-bedroom, 2 1.5 bath, rents for $1,275. The tenant only pays $40. Section 8 automatic money, pays the rest of that every single month, right? He only wants $70,000. The condo is worth $100 to $125. So I say $100 in as is condition. Okay, that's $30,000 in equity day one because it's worth $30,000 more than what we had paid for it. He wants to buy it back in 6 months. So what he really need is a loan real fast. That's what he really need. But he's willing to sell the house with the condo for a 6-month buyback clause, right? So I go over there, see the tenant it's cash flowing. I think we should do it, right? It clears $950 a month. $1,000 if you don't have insurance. I don't play that way. I'll get insurance. So we're gonna clear $950 a month. $950 a month times 6 months is what? Almost like $6,000, right? And so now I can also say, you know what? When you buy it back in 6 months, I don't want my 70 back. I actually want 76. So I want to make $12,000 in 6 months, which is the equivalent of $2,000 a month. I'm going to make half of that through the rent, the other half for me putting this money up, right? That's going to be my proposal. Okay. And so if he doesn't buy it back in 6 months, we got the property. Now watch this. Put up 70,000 to get it, right? Since it's worth 100,000, I'll take that to one of my lenders and they'd be like, yep, it is worth 100, but I'm only going to give you 70% of the 100,000. So that's $70,000. They give me 70,000 in cash, tax free, by the way. They give me 70,000 in cash, but now, of course, let's just say hypothetically, I got to pay $600 on that, right? So cool. We already net 950. So 950 minus 600 is 350, but I got my 70,000 back. So now I got my 70,000 back. That makes that condo free. Free. You just got to have the money to play the game in the beginning to get your equity back. They've been crushing it. This is known as the BRRRR strategy. Should I type it in the chat? I think I need to type it in the chat. I think y'all need a little bit of I'm about to say emotional, but that too. But you need a little bit of financial literacy. Buy it, remodel, right? Rent it, refinance, then repeat. Bam, just put it in the chat. This is a known thing called the BRRRR strategy, where you pull your money back out and then you go play the game again, pull your money back out, play the game again, pull your money back out, play the game again. You're taking a little cash flow is going down, right? But it's free and you're just building your monopoly that way. I don't see you stop. And you know, I like messing with you stocks and I love stocks, but the bank won't give you a loan on the stock. You understand what I'm saying? So this is how you can get you 5 houses, 5th house. I can get 5 houses doing this technique right here. So that's the type of stuff that I'll be putting in the Patreon too. So it just ain't the upstairs spiritual shit. It's hey, focus, balance, get some money. You know what I mean? Build some financial wealth, have passive income coming in, right? And get on your spiritual journey. Because when you're on your spiritual journey and you got bills nagging at you and you got to go to work and you feel like meditating today instead of reading some great information that you got, and you got to go to work. Right? That's how it happens. All right. All right. So let's get into today's conversation. Let me know if y'all understood that. Put 7s in the chat. Let me know. Y'all understood that, what I just said? Put some 7s in the chat. Let me know you understood what I just said before I get started. All right. Give me some 7s so we can go. And I'm checking the YouTube side. Y'all better have these likes up. Nah, y'all ain't got the likes up. I'm about to do the Kevin Samuels on y'all. Kendrick Murphy. What's going on? All right. Let's get started. So today's conversation, Catholic saints versus nigga demons, right? Catholic saints versus nigga demons. Forget Nicodemus in the Bible. Nigga demons. Okay. We got to understand that this is not an attack. This should serve as a question as to why are we doing this? Thank you, Armel. I heard that earlier. You and your titles. Yeah, I'll just be playing around, right? Vita Moore, what's up? What's happening? So why are we doing this, right? And what we're doing is totally we're totally going on the opposite end of the spectrum with energy. So I'm gonna have to show you what I'm talking about here. All right. And this is just questions while we doing this. All right. So what did Beyonce say? Hips tick tock when I dance. What would she say? Y'all see what she said. What she say? On that demon time. Right? Oh, so now we understand that this concept called demon time has made itself into the culture. It has. I'm on demon time. Okay. Now, I'm going to start with Chicago. I'm going to take a page out of my brother Anton Daniels' book. Chicago, come to the front of the congregation. Me and Jew talked about this years ago, that Chicago in Rome, which is the seat and mother of Christianity, I don't care what you Baptists tell me, you come from this school of thought. Your origins come here. You're going to have to come to Rome. Both Rome and Chicago sits 41 degrees north of the equator. Now, this is important because on one side of the world, you have the papacy. You have more of the religious, spiritual thing. On the other side of the world, its equivalent is the dark forces. Oh, don't act like in Chicago a 4-year-old didn't get shot over this last Memorial Day weekend. Don't act like Chicago ain't lost. It's been lost its rabid ass mind, right? Told you I was a kid in Chicago, lived in Chicago as a kid. The essays wanted to kill me as a kid because we were spray painting their shit out, spray painting them out. They came back and hit us back. Windy City Boy kill us. Oh, really? I'm 3rd grade. No, 4th grade. I'm 4th grade. Yeah, 4th graders get it too in Chicago. They just had a little kid, little kid, at like junior high. You know what I'm saying? Like just got murdered in Chicago. I went to 51st and Damon on that corner. Used to be a grocery store. Called my pops, come get me. Came got me. Because I understood what was going to happen. This is trouble. This is trouble. And so in 4th grade, I had common sense enough to know this is trouble. This is danger, right? And yeah. So on that side, you have craziness. Absolute craziness, okay? Now, let me do this here. I'm going to come back to this because this is going to be important because we got to understand how to read the spiritual signs in what Chicago really represents. Really represents, okay? So on the cover, I had the pimpiness of them all, the church, which is a spiritual institution. Interesting, because we say church when we see, Don Bishop Magic Wand. When we see him, it's church, but we know we talking it in a way that is pimping. Preach, tabernacle. Those are all spiritual concepts. On his glasses is bishop, right? And he effectively really goes by archbishop, which is a title. Yes, it is. Okay. Well, he also wrote a book on the left. You see it, the Archbishop, 33 daily spiritual devotional scriptures. And on the right-hand side, which was his first book, was from pimp stick to the pulpit. Now, ain't nothing wrong with that because hoes are in the Bible. That's a state of consciousness. Rahab was a hoe. Tamar dressed like a prostitute so she can have sex with Judah. And Judah was God's homie. The Lion of Judah, right? So prostitutes are a state in the Bible. I'm yet to find a pimp though. Now, I used to manage strip clubs. I'm a soft ass. I feel more like, to me, a player and a pimp are not the same. Okay? Pimping is some hardcore shit. Excuse my French, but it is, to me, in my opinion, like pimping is vicious. Get out there and sell that pussy, hoe. Bitch, get my money. That's a little hardcore. But all jokes aside, it really is, in my opinion, it's hardcore. I don't care what you tell me though. Nobody want their daughter to be a hoe though. They don't want their daughter to have a pimp. That's the litmus test. I'm gonna have to be real with you. I don't know why pimping is cool, but it is absolutely the lowest. Like, that's low. And they say the legend is, back in the day, you was a pimp, you came to the penitentiary, you got it. You got work put in on you. It is perhaps one of the lowest states. See, when it turns to gorilla pimping, I'm about to beat you because you ain't get out there and get that money. That is the lowest state. And 9 times out of 10, and I know from just managing strip clubs, these women are on drugs, physically abused, sexually abused, adopted, sometimes all of the above at the same time. They got problems. So me managing the strip club in my 20s, 24, 23, 25, up in that pocket, I became disgusted. And I was the cool nigga. What? Man, listen, only thing you got to do is go Google image a nigga named Drew Down from Oakland, California. I was heavily influenced by Drew Down. They used to call me that shit, Baby Drew, in the city because I went and got the perm and the finger waves. What? I got the derby hat with the feather in it. And I got a motherfucking 84 Cadillac Brougham. Oh, you couldn't tell me nothing about the pimping. Playboy. So I grew up on Ohio players. You see what I'm saying? So it's a little tad bit different. But my point is, I got sick of it. And I left the game out of disgust. The gangsters, the dope boys, the shooters, they all idolized the pimp. All them niggas used to stare at me. All of them. Especially one nigga in particular. That nigga would stop what he doing and just be looking because I'm pulling up with a Tahoe full of girls going into the strip club. Right? I got sick of it. I never thought I would get sick of it. And the movie Players Club is really real because it's only really one diamond. Out the whole club, 2 of them go to college and using this as a hustle and got their head on their shoulders. The rest of them got some type of issue. And now I feel like they're like my little children. Although we the same age and they older than me, I feel like they're my children because me and the bouncers is really the front line of defense for them. So I'm like they daddy in a certain kind of way. And I'm like, this ain't right. This don't feel good in my spirit. So pimping. I had to beat a pimp's ass from Brooklyn. Nigga thought he was fly. Nigga got a slash on his face to this day. So I'm kind of prejudiced against New York niggas. I ain't gonna lie about it. It's a tad bit. Y'all know how y'all do. Y'all come to them smaller towns and think everybody's slow. You know how you do in a sense, right? But it's a very disgusting state of consciousness. Very. All right. So there's room. There's room for growth. Okay. Now, here's a guy. Here's the legendary pimp. Go Google him from San Francisco, Fillmore Slim. What? You know what they call this nigga? The Pope of Pimping. That's right, Bakari. Drew down, can you feel me? Pimp of the year. Explicit game. They call this nigga the Pope of Pimping. Fillmore Slim. A legend in San Francisco Bay Area. Okay? I ain't making this up. The Pope. So here we got a pope that's supposed to represent, and let's just say he represents. It's like we got to stop acting like there ain't no Christians who are really good people and they believe in God. And the Catholic Church is the number one most charitable organization in the entire world. All over the planet Earth, nobody has more charity than the Catholic Church. That's a fact. So tonight we gonna give them their spiritual props, and don't make me go get these saints. You're gonna see a few. They got some power. We're gonna have to stop that because they stole it from Egypt. We're gonna have to get out our feelings about that because they working with something. So here it is. They are on this, but yet when we give it to a pope, it's on some pimping shit. That ain't cool. So we're gonna come back to Chicago. They call it Willis Tower now. I told y'all years ago. Because I told y'all 41, right? It says 41 degrees. We got to get into Chicago. The Sears Tower, and I don't play with words. And I'm like, what Sears? Cyrus. Cyrus Tower. Cyrus is Sirius. When you're dealing with Cyrus, Sirius, Osiris. Osiris is known as the black god. The legend of Osiris is his phallus, his penis. So when you look in Chicago, you see the third largest building in the United States is here. A big black phallus in Chicago, shooting off into the ether of space. Sears Tower, Cyrus Tower. Your Osirian energy is here. Osiris, if you understand the mythology, is all about a form of resurrection. Something must come out of a dead state back to a living state, i.e., message to the black man. Oh, we're going to get there. We're going to get there because I showed you that Chicago sits 41 degrees north of the equator. But when you take it to the Kabbalah and you look at 41, you see 41 highlighted. What do it say? It says leader. Really? So 31, the word is Eol, A-I-L, or Iol, A-I-L. It equals 41, and that means leader. But when you go to Chicago, do you not have a whole leader of a nation? There's two nations in Chicago. Here's one on the supposed to be, not saying that it's not, on the righteous side. Let's say it is. On the righteous side, you have a leader, hence Nation of Islam, a leader of a nation. Yes, that's what 41 represents, Kabbalistically. See, this is how you really start going in and start understanding what to construct and what to do. So you have your nation, right? But see, 41 also means M. You see it. What do it mean? Mother. Very interesting. Because I know when you're dealing with the Nation of Islam, their mosque is called Mosque Maryam, and Mary is the mother of who? Ain't Mother a Mary? Ain't Mother Mary, or Mary a mother rather? Mary is a mother. Yeah. So when you have the Jews, or those of the Hebrew Israelite community, while they have their Star of David and at the wall worshiping. What do black folks in Chicago do with the 6-pointed star? What up, folk? GD. You take a spiritual emblem and put pitchforks on it. But wait a minute. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Ain't the pitchfork always been symbolic for the staff of the devil? It's always been symbolic for that. Let's not act like it ain't been that. And this ain't about a devil down in the ground and fire. It ain't about that. We're talking about the principles here at work, right? So we take a 6-pointed star and we put the devil aspect on it. And then we pull out pistols on one another and we kill each other in Chicago. Oh, don't get it twisted like niggas don't kill each other. That's what they do with the 6-pointed star. Demonize it. Come on, man. Not cool. Not cool. So then the rivals to the folks, Mafia Insane Vice Lord. Well, wait a minute. Isn't Lord an actual title, as in Jesus? Yes? I'm lost. Now, I'm serious about this one because this one baffles the hell out of me. Why would you want to call yourself Insane Vice Lord? I recognize the Lord, but I'm insane. Y'all see it for you. Listen, I'm not making this shit up. These niggas call themselves insane vice lords. Again, they take a spiritual concept and make it insane. You're not going to tell me we ain't crazy. So many don't know who this is. This is Mother Frances Cabrini. I'm not going to even pull out miracles tonight. We was doing that in the membership where we do a night of the saints and we go in. But I'll let you look her up. Mother Frances Cabrini. It is a fact that she went west in Colorado, and at her hermitage, her place, they used to have to go all the way down the mountain to get water. And she took a staff like Moses and hit a rock, and water springs from that place to this day. When I lived in Colorado, I went there. I got the water. In fact, we held one of our trips there in 2014 or 15, one of those years. We held a trip, the Sacred Heart of Jesus. We was up in the mountains dealing with this energy. Mother Cabrini is known to have performed miracles. People have drank this water and no longer have no issues of disease. Bakari said Cabrini, like in Cabrini Green. That's what Bakari just said that, right? Yep, just like that, bro. That's right. Cabrini Greens, and everybody know. Listen, Marcy, Jackie Robinson, Brevoort, all them Brooklyn projects, Jordan Downs, LA. Listen, everybody know the Cabrini Green was absolutely the most infamous projects in the United States, if not the world. And I've been there when I lived in Chicago as a kid. My mama should be ashamed of herself for letting me go hang with my friends who then took me to the goddamn project because I could have got lost or anything could have happened. We know this was a war zone right here. So a place that is named after a saint, but put it in the hands of niggas, you see, we know the aftermath. So now let's swing on down to Miami. Yeah, it's a gang called Zopound, a Haitian gang. But I'm telling you tonight, y'all see it. Y'all go do the I'm not showing y'all what the saint did. Go research it. Do a little bit of due diligence. There is a saint named Saint Zoe. I ain't making it up. You see it. Saint Zoe, pray for us. But when we get it, we Zoe pound. Oh, the blood of Christ. The blood. Oh, this person right here absolutely probably became the most popular blood and made blood mainstream without a shadow of a doubt. Marion Suge Knight, right? So the blood of Christ is a spiritual concept, but when niggas get involved in it, it turns into a gang. Come on, man. Pac was rolling with it, right? Pac's death, as they say, probably comes from him beating up Orlando Baby Lane, a Crip, a known killer, because he rolling with MOB, the Mob Pyru Bloods. But he was tapped in the sense of Hail Mary. Hail Mary is a prayer. But you see it express itself through the culture. Yeah, this was a banging ass track Tupac had, Hail Mary. It's going to permeate. Now, this is probably my favorite right here. That's my boo. This is I love some St. Clair. Oh, that's my boo thing right there. St. Clair was dope. Y'all got to go read up on St. Clair. We did her in the membership on Night of the Saints. St. Clair has some mystical powers. St. Clair is so dope. She was inspired by Saint Francis. Francis was a man. Francis and Claire will be building all day, all night long, having conversation in the woods. And the legend is onlookers from afar would see the woods glowing and they thought it was on fire, and they would come running to the woods with buckets of water just to see it was them two having conversation. Francis created was known as the Francian order. Claire said, you know what? There ain't nothing for the women. I'm going to create something called the Order of the Poor Clares. Facts. These two were soulmates without physically having sex because they didn't have sex as saints and nuns. But I'm telling you, their story is so freaking beautiful. Don't let take color away from it. Look into it. St. Clair. But, and these my niggas, listen, I was listening to this album. This album is the shit. I ain't gonna lie. I've been bumping it lately. It's the shit. It's underrated. But when you get to St. Clair, what was it? St. Clair was Bone Thugs. Nigga, this St. Clair. Was it not? Come on, man. Let's not act like my nigga Bone Thugs didn't come with the Ouija board. Let's not act like we didn't hear them having the demonic welcome to the dark side and it's going in reverse like it was the devil playing. These my niggas right here. I still want a Crazy Bone and Busy Bone duo, them two. But I gotta call it for what it is, and this home turf for me. I gotta call it for what it is. They put the Ouija in the demonic aspect of it on St. Clair because that's the street they was from, East 99 and St. Clair. So you see the spiritual side of it. But then when we get it, here come the bone, the graveyards, the death side of it. Okay? So let me show you something here. Hold on. Let me come to it. There we go. All right. So This fella here, this fella, YNW Melly, is on trial for double murder. Now, look at this man's last name. Look at this man's last name. Now, hold on. Hold on. I'm only going to play a little bit of this because it's about to get dark.
In Barnes household, 4 more shots.
For 11187.
Oh, it happened fast. Watch this. You're going to always see a fingerprint. Watch this. It's going to happen real fast. Look how the spirit goes. Come on, man. Now you got Gabriel in the mix. Is not Gabriel an angel? In fact, Gabe could be as ruthless as Michael. The fingerprints of the balance of God is always going to show up in the story. We got years of this work showing you that if you, especially when you do it collectively, you do something what appears as what you think is a random external event, I guarantee you when you start looking at the names of the stories, the people in the event will have a mirroring name of people who was participating inside of the meditation. Guaranteed. Guarantee it. This is why we took the work private. Now, I'm going to fast forward because this shit gets dark. Let me see.
Caught me by surprise. I reloaded my pistol, cocked it back and shot him twice. His body dropped down. I'm traumatized. I didn't even mean to shoot him.
He said, I didn't even mean to shoot him. That's all I wanted to say. This video is called Murder on My Mind. I'm not about to play it all because you see it gets dark. The frog's in it. The frog has always been synonymous with possession when you're dealing with dark spiritual work. He got the pythons in it, certain candles in it, even got a certain number on the door that I can show you represents the tree of life. Okay. And he playing with the serpent, and the whole story with the serpent's dealing with the tree of life, right? Heavily symbolic, occultist, super occultist in this one. In this manner, I'm going to say occultist meaning dark in this particular sense, right? Not hidden. This is the dark hidden mysteries in a sense, right? But here it is. This dude this is his first blowout song, right? Murder on My Mind. And he said he didn't mean to shoot his friend. But right now, this dude literally is on trial for a double murder of killing 2 of his friends. Allegedly trying to make it look like it was a drive-by, but it was him who killed his friends. The man's last name is Demons, and when you look at him closely, ladies and gentlemen, y'all not going to tell me I'm motherfucking tripping. Tell me I'm tripping. This nigga's a gargoyle. This nigga is a demon. I can't be far-fetched. The goddamn nigga last name is Demon. If you paying attention to the trial with this little dude, you paying attention to the trial, you will see he's in there laughing. He's in there praying. He's on trial for double murder. And he is in that joint like it is all fun and games. Seriously. The director of the video name was Gabriel Hart. Right? Which is the counterforce to it. Right? And so it just baffles me, man. It baffles me when you see, I mean, totally desecrated some shit that really represents higher principles. You know what I'm saying? Higher principles and whatnot. And you know, shit be relative, man, because I got a homegirl. Shout out to Ruby. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's one of those Pisces, one of them can see different dimensional, different planes type of Pisces. She's been talking a lot about spiritual possession, demonic possession. In fact, I got something from one of my teachings that talk about demons reincarnating. So it ain't even a possession. This is actually a demon reincarnated. Like when you look at this fella, man, and this dude has an extensive record. Like this dude was shooting and killing motherfuckers at an early age. Like, come on, man. If you can't see, you need some eye wash. Seriously. This dude is a demon. I'm sorry, but I ain't sorry. I'm telling you, this fella here, nah. listen. I don't even be into all the Anunnaki type stuff, but some shit down here starting ain't making sense to me. Like I told you the other day, I like, hey nigga, we can't act like the Bible don't have a scripture that says, a group of men, these giants came in and was messing with some humans. Like it made reference of two different types of beings, and then it was an intermingling of some shit. You know what I'm saying? And I think you can just really tell. You should be able to tell. Hopefully, the the should be able to tell the quality of the fruit or the quality of the tree by the fruit that it bears. And the fruit in this sense is your works, your actions, what you stand on, what you present, you know what I'm saying, and what you do. And sometimes that could be a little tricky too, you know what I'm saying, because we got, we all got what's called a shadow self. In Egypt, this was called Set. So everybody has negative and positive qualities, you know what I'm saying? And our job is to learn how to transmute the negative and learn how to, deal more on the side of light, which is the greater good. You know what I'm saying? And it can be a struggle. Absolutely. It can absolutely be a struggle and whatnot. But that's our job, though, is to have fortitude and deal with that. Overcoming your shadow self so you can be reborn again. Like all of these ancient theologies, you know what I'm saying? This whole phoenix bird burning himself up in the ashes to be, resurrected. Osiris and the resurrection, Jesus and the resurrection. You know what I'm saying? This resurrection process is an internal process where the old you, the ego you, the dark you, the shadow you, your lower self you, that has to die. And we have to step into a cocoon. Like this is my cocoon right here. So step into a cocoon and then you have to go through your transformation. Seriously, you got to go through your transformation. What are you talking about, man? Siri be dipping like a mug. I ain't say nothing to you.
Working on that.
You're saying, y'all hear me? I ain't say Siri nothing, but she said on it and working on that. So let that be the spirit, because y'all, I did not say Siri anything for her to kick up and whatnot. But we got to get on that and work on that. You see what I'm saying? That's how the spirit works. We got to get on that and work on that. All right, Bobby Hemmett time. Who got some questions? In fact, if you want to say something, man, hold on. Let me go get this link real fast. You can come on, man. Cam up, talk to me. I don't like questions in the chat. I like to see people. I need interaction because I got what I got? Attachment issues, detachment issues, or something. I got something. I need interaction. When I was a baby, they didn't hold me. I'm making up a story, y'all, but that's what I'm gonna say happened. But yeah, you got a question? Cam up. Lord, that dude, I got murder on my mind. Accidentally kills his friends in the video, allegedly. And listen, I'll play it because he gonna tell the dude, his friend is gonna be like, I don't want to die, but he gonna tell him, no, it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, no, I'll play it, but I don't want to I don't want to bombard your psyche with such. So you can go watch it at your own expense if you into a coat digging and you're okay, you're mature enough. But I don't want to put that on your psyche. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful of the things that you watch and shit. Seriously. But if you got a question, hit that hit that. So yeah, so gargoyles are said to keep bad spirits away, and they put them on the Gothic church, like the churches in Spain and whatnot, for sure, and whatnot. Um, but you always had counterparts. So if you ever come into a certain school of Western magic, in a sense, you will start to see entities that got certain names that look just like that too. So it's no different than all of them don't look alike. You know what I mean? Like you have angels as angels, but then you have some angels that's angels, but they of the dark force, but they still look like an angel. Hence, the legend is Michael and Lucifer were twin brothers, and then Lucifer got kicked out of heaven, right? So he must look like them in a sense. So again, when you come into certain schools of thought, you will see like, oh, okay, these entities, you know, um, they it's hard to differentiate. You know what I'm saying? They look the same, but got different causes. You know what I'm saying? Chloe, what's up, Chloe? What's happening? All right. So ATL burned their symbol as a phoenix. Yeah, Atlanta City Seal is the phoenix bird that says resurgence. So if you look up the Atlanta City Seal, it's a phoenix bird to say resurgence, which is Latin, which means to be born again or to rise again, rather. And that's because Uncle Billy William T. Sherman burned Atlanta down in the Civil War. And that's why it's coming out of fire, because he shot up the whole city and set it on fire because they wanted to have slaves and Uncle Billy wasn't having it. Right. So Bakari says, do you think them rolling with the Saints' energy is in opposition? Like how in astrology you can roll with conjunction or opposition. So we're saying, do you think them rolling with the Saints' energy is in opposition? I think, if I'm hearing that correctly, I think I mean it's clearly opposition, because what they represent, everything that we showed tonight was absolutely 100% on the counter side, the total opposite of it. You know what I'm saying? And he said, like how in astrology you can roll with the conjunction or opposition. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not necessarily understanding that part of what you're saying, Bakari. So you can say it another way. I'm a little bit slow, but it's in total opposition. But again, Chicago was talking about who there's a certain leadership gonna have to come out of Chicago. And some may say, hey, that's why they say free the chairman. You know what I'm saying? Larry Hoover. And it's because if he get out, then he could be the one that can unite the gangs. You know what I mean? Um, Perhaps, you know what I'm saying? I think you got Minister Farrakhan there. You know, Twister said it best in one of his songs. Chicago ain't a city, it's a nation. I can show you where Illinois was like, listen, y'all need to make Chicago the 51st state, because we tired of all the federal funding going to Chicago. It's a shithole. Nothing ever changes. The rest of the state gets neglected. Make that shit a 51st state. You know what I mean? So the rest of the state can get what it can get. And so for it to be on the rival to Rome, it's about, in my opinion, I'm gonna have to put that on the Nation of Islam, man. And I'm not saying everybody become Islamic and Muslim. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's strong enough. It's really strong enough. You know what I mean? Like all of the culture, black culture for sure, automatically gives respect to Minister Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. You know what I'm saying? I believe there's a more vital role that have to be played out, and we can do this consciously, or we can allow what we know we should do. Hence, if you look on the back of the Final Call newspaper, what we want or what the Muslims believe, and you look at some original tenets by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, then you really supposed to really be building some things. And we can allow the suppress unconscious, meaning you know what we're supposed to do, but what's happening is this suppression of it. We're not aware of it. What we're not aware of is our suppressed thoughts are creating reality. So more people gonna keep on dying and keep on dying and keep on dying because we're not doing anything about it, and we know we should be doing something about it. And so that suppression, that emotional anger and stuff, when it do happen and you do nothing about it, you just made the wrong observation and you about to create it all over again from a quantum level. Straight up. Straight up. All right. So it's something that gotta be done out of there. Clove, do you feel like black people ruin these places that are named after spiritual figures because we are demonic? It's a good question. Um, I think that I just think the culture is fucked up. And there's a spell that is on us through music. It's fucked up. And Common from Chicago is 100% right. And you even see now as the gang members then got older out in Cali, you see them telling you that they were sold a lie. They believed in some bullshit. You know, that was all bullshit. But now it's generations and generations that's dead, generations and generations of people that's in the penitentiary. So we're under a spell through our cultural expression from our pain. And so when hip hop went to the West Coast, it was their truth. NWA it's their truth without a shadow of a doubt. But that form of therapy and their truth created something very dangerous, spawned something very dangerous, and it ain't never been the same since. And that's just the truth. It don't mean that they wasn't supposed to tell their truth, but unfortunately, we lack. Clearly, we lack the basic morality of things. You know what I'm saying? Of human life, dignity, worth, self-value, preservation, respect of others. And so we did become, y'all don't want to admit it. I don't know why, but we did become super predators. Nigga kill you for stepping on his motherfucking new Jordans at the club. Nigga, what? Shooting that nigga. Stepping on my motherfucking Jordans, nigga. Kill you over that. Over some shoes, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So we're under a spell. Our own spell. Because see, my thing is, yeah, somebody's behind it, promoting it and paying you. But that's your story. You ain't gotta tell that story. You tell that story. You know what I'm saying? I was under a spell through music. I didn't rob the corner store fucking with music. What you man? I stayed in fucking in Vallejo, E40s, the Oaklands, Drew Down, the Loonies, Dog Pound. I stayed on the West Coast in music. I really wasn't the East Coast head like that. I was West Coast. Listen, that was more of my swag around here. You know what I'm saying? That was more of our temperament. And that shit is very influential to young minds. Too Short, right? They telling you how to sell dope, and so you figuring out 7 ounces, 7 ounces is a quarter. You know what I'm saying? Now you figuring out what a brick is. You figuring out all this lingo. They're giving you the instructions on how to rock it up, cook it down, bring it back, shock it. Shock it is when you put ice cubes in water to make the cocaine turn hard. We call it shock. Shock it. You know what I'm saying? So this shit is just very influential to young, impressionable minds. And so we do it to ourselves. And it's just very ironic somehow that, we end up naming ourselves after these spiritual concepts in a sense. You know what I'm saying? But our force of what we have is just totally It's just total opposite, and it's more of a cultural programming in that sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see that. You know what I mean? Um, Indigo Earth Angel. I deleted all rap pages from my social media this week. Yeah, royalty in the building said the Cathedral Basilica of St. Peter and Paul on the Parkway. I did a walkthrough on Wednesday on my way to the library. Yeah. Yeah. You know? And so we just gotta do better, man. I don't we was having this conversation the other day about spells, you know what I'm saying? If it's a group of people putting spells on us, like some of us wake up, and I just always like to take the position that if you and I can figure it out, then that shows us that the spell wears off. And I'm always looking to I want to just like I don't like the idea of somebody oppressing us and doing things from afar using thought, right? Because if it's a matter of thought, then that means your thought is more powerful than my thought, and that could be my ego. But it's not. I don't like how dare you rule me from a thought? How dare you rule my life and create some circumstance to happen because you got some candles lit and you said a prayer at midnight and you sprinkle some vibhuti powder and shit? How dare you? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is about thoughts. That's all we got to do. Oh, shit. Say no more. Midnight it is. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Oh, mountain. Okay. That's what the Bible says. Oh, the mountain. And you get an answer. Okay. Let's go to the mountains, ladies and gentlemen. That's how my mind works. You know what I'm saying? And so, um, for somebody to be doing something to us, to me, is weak because it wears off and you see people wake up all the time, which to me shows that the spell is weak. It wears off. It has a expiration date if it's done from the plane of, black magic, and that black magic shit weak. You know what I'm saying? That shit's whack. You know what I mean? Like, you can't touch the true and living God that's in you. You know what I mean? You gotta do all that, and we still woke up and we here and we've been talking about this, and this is what we doing, and ain't nobody stopping us. And cause see, at the core, like, that's why I say, like, this white supremacy issue at its height, at its absolute height, its glory was slavery. Once that shit was over and you see the victory inside of that, man, and you's like, man, that shit's dead. That shit's whack. Now, that don't mean racism don't exist. I ain't saying that. We ain't naive enough to believe that shit. Don't mean racism don't exist. What I'm saying is, can't nobody fuck with you though. Like, can't nobody fuck with us. Like that's my position on that. Like, can't nobody touch you. You what? You see, this is where you got to make the rubber meet the road. Now, don't sit up here and tell me that I got 9 ether hair and I'm this great being and my hair grows towards the sun and I get extraterrestrial communication, and your little pussy ass black magic somewhere you conjuring up at Bohemian Grove looking at some goddamn owl around the fire is running my world. You got me twisted. You got me twisted. Listen, I ain't lying. I'm not lying when I'm about to tell you this. It is a known fact that in the 06 to 2010 era, I used to make UFOs come outside and look like starships upon command on meditation and point them out and show you. You will see them. This is documented, right? So, like, the Ezekiel in the wheel, that's a real state of consciousness. This is talked about in different cultures as well. You can reach that state of consciousness. And that back then, that me, that was the vegan alkaline me to get to that level. You know what I'm saying? It's a high energy me on that plane. Like, we can't be touched. Like seriously, that we can't be touched. And Like Jew alluded to last night. Man, we can show you something, man. I can show you a presentation that'll blow your socks off. Seriously. Seriously. Far as let's think about it and watch it happen in the real world. Let's do it again and again and again. Yeah, you can do stuff like that. I just give you a light example when I first caught wind of it. You can go Google the story. Everybody know that, and Royalty here, she been here because I think she was in Colorado, right? I was hosting 3 trips a year. Equinox, spring equinox, March 21st, 22nd weekend, summer solstice. Now, see, this would be a summer solstice weekend right here. I usually be holding the event somewhere. We'd be up in the mountains doing something. In the fall equinox, I don't do nothing in the winter, right? So September 21st, 22nd. So our first journey in 2011, March, was to Serpent Mound in Ohio. We walked the Serpent. March 21st, 22nd. Open up a window and go Google Egyptian cobra missing from the Bronx Zoo 2011 and see what date that happened on. I bet you it'd be like March 24th, 25th, something like that. Now here we are walking the Serpent Mound, and majority of the people was from New York on that trip because we met in Philly and we drove. Right? My man in the chat. Look, shout out to Hootie, Ninth Wonder. Pooja Bird making hawks appear. He been around for years. We did a Thunderbird joint in 2012 focusing on birds. A goddamn hawk was on the ground to where he was walking, sitting on the ground. It's the weirdest shit in the world. It was like, imagine a hawk sitting on a nest on the ground, though, staring at him. That's why he put this in the chat, because he was a part of this before. We can literally make things happen when we come together and think about it. Seriously. Okay? Like this is real stuff. So higher living, nah, I can't get you that presentation, man. I'll put it up. Put it up. Put it up. Put it up. Because we can get real gangster with this thing. And my temperament is like Michael. You know what I mean? I serve the light, but boy, I love when it's that kind of time. I ain't gonna lie about it. Listen, I ain't gonna lie about it. I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm gonna tell the truth, nothing but the truth. Help me, God. Listen, it is easier for me to call upon the angelic forces of light to destroy what I perceive to be an enemy than it is for me to visualize my own personal wealth and prosperity. I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm not gonna lie about it. Because I don't firmly believe I'm here for as the mission for the prosperity aspect of it. I'm more here to help humanity evolve, and it could be a part of the programming, but that comes with opposition, and I want to destroy all opposition at all costs. And so it's a pleasure for me to go get some of these angelic forces like Michael and Gabe and understand that frequency of light and go to the mountaintop and make a petition. And then you start seeing shit pop up in reality and shit. Real story. So, it's it's just time to create some new stuff anyway. Some new phenomena in a good way. In a good way. All right. So that's it, man. You ain't got no questions? What y'all got, man? I don't want to come on. I'm about to get my chill on, man. smoke me an imaginary blunt because I don't smoke. So, any questions? We good? We good, Saudi? I just wanted to share this quick little thing with y'all. Quick little examples, man. You know what I'm saying? And see, that kind of stuff gives credence to when people be like, the Illuminati and rituals and shit. Like that murder on my mind that's some ritualistic shit. Seriously. That video is ritual like a motherfucker, And David Strong said, "What is the X equinox again?" I don't know what you mean. What is the X equinox? You got spring equinox, March 21st, 22nd. And then you got the fall equinox and whatnot. Oh shoot, we got company, y'all. Hold on, I'm about to bring you on here. What's going on?
You didn't answer my question.
Oh, I didn't see your question. Excuse me, I didn't see your question. What you say? My bad.
I'm gonna
What
scroll
you
back
say?
to it.
Let's go. Let me see. Where you at? Where you at?
Yeah, let me find it.
Oh, I see it. I see it. Here it is. So, do you believe it is the intention of Source that every single being becomes awakened, or is it opposition and polarity important? So, I do believe that that's the purpose of reincarnation, is to get you to a point of awakening. And that is a fact that is documented. So reincarnation is real. And I've seen how you can get rid of disease, and people seeing the trauma from relationships play out from a previous incarnation. And people, when they come back into awakened state, they no longer have physical disease no more, and relationships improve. So the philosophies of the Eastern aspect of reincarnation and karma absolutely match what science is now catching up to today. Where you go? I thought you were still here. And then, or is opposition? So opposition and polarity is important. So we need the drama to initiate us into the awakening. And this is easily seen in the Western hemisphere, because in the West, it is through trauma and drama that we become awakened, to make you question what your existence is. And I call it the Malcolm X, or it's the Malcolm X syndrome. It's the Detroit Red thing. It's when Detroit Red becomes Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? So the opposition of polarity is important for the awakening. It's your initiation to get you to question why, to get you to understand the deeper aspects of self and get you to evolve. That's my answer. What do you think?
Can you hear me? Because I keep
Yep, I can
freezing.
hear. Yeah. You
Okay.
can you was gone, but you came back, but I can hear you.
Yeah,
So what you think?
I just feel like we gotta take that into account, because obviously spirit, God allowed Satan for a reason, right?
Yep.
So those beings that come, that are polar opposite of God, can't really we can't really attach ourselves too much to that, and we get so emotional behind it. We gotta just take it, understand what it is, as being of higher consciousness. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. You was freezing on me a little bit, but yes, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. But keep on going, girl. Keep on going. You teaching. Go.
No, I'm just saying, there's so many things that happen. This is why I don't necessarily watch things anymore. I don't listen to certain music anymore. because I've done that part already. Like I've done that. So as I elevate, I don't decide which side I'm gonna be on. So I don't need to really dip in and out of the negativity.
Oh, you dropped off on us. You dropped off. What's up, Clove? What's happening?
Hola.
Hey, what you down there in
Buenas
Mexico
noches.
doing? You in Mexico still?
I am still in Mexico, but I'm going to be in California soon.
Uh-oh, California bound.
Yeah.
Back to the west side. What's going on with you?
It's raining, and so the reception is bad. And when you were talking about, um, when you were talking about the spell and everything, hi, I am goddess. Oh, that's not I am goddess. Is that I am goddess?
Yeah. She didn't switch it up on everybody.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, she done switched up. She done went to a whole nother portal on us.
Hey now, I like the green. Look at you. You look pretty.
Hey, I keep freezing, so I'm gonna let y'all go ahead. But yeah, that was my point.
Gotcha.
Have a good night.
Gotcha. You too. But yeah, go ahead, Chloe.
No, I want you. Can you answer her question first? Because she started.
I did. I thought. So, what was the question?
I don't remember because I was getting on here.
Yeah. I had answered it. So she asked, "Do we believe that source is source giving us the intention to wake us up?" And my position on that is yep, because when you deal with reincarnation and when you deal with people overcoming issues such as disease, when they see it from a previous life, the disease go away. Absolutely. And so we have to go through those experiences for us to come to the inner awakening. That's why I believe, honestly, for real, like on this school of the mysteries, I think the first step really should be to seek a real past life regression where you can see into your own inner Akashic record. The Akashic record to me is not some shit that's out there in space. That's fine, but the inner Akashic record is your soul's memories. And once you can successfully see those play out, again, people don't no longer have disease and stuff, and it keeps coming back. And Justin, to tell you, Justin, he was here earlier, so I don't know if he's still here. So Justin did a past life regression and he saw a woman stabbing him in the stomach. In this lifetime, Justin had a physical hernia. And I said, Justin, where your birthmark at? And that nigga said, damn, right here in the same area.
As the hernia?
Yeah. So
wow.
This has been a study that was done at the University of Virginia that created this whole program to study this phenomenon and stuff. So absolutely, we're here to come into that awakening. So yep, that's my answer. And the second part of her question was dealing with polarity. These opposite forces of Satan and these things that we go through, that is absolutely to torture your ass so you can wake up and start reflecting. And so depending upon your level of soul karma, the less drama you'll go through, the higher you're more, the higher you ascend. The more dense you are, the more shit you gonna go through to get you to start questioning what your existence is and what your connection to it is about. So yeah, that's the answer. Yep. What do you think?
So there's a storm. It's calming down, but it was acting up, and the computer or the internet cut off when you were talking about the spell. that you felt was over Black people after I was asking about um, the cities and whatever.
Mhm.
Like, do you feel like because what it seems like to me is that there will be like a cycle of trauma that takes
Mhm.
place, and when like when you're in a constant state of trauma that may come from inside of your own community or your own family or you, or it might come from outside forces. I don't know, like, do you, because the way you were wording it was kind of like, oh, niggas just mess it up. And it's like, well, if we're in like a continual state of trauma that never really gets addressed collectively, individually, in our families, how are we going to make the communities better? You know?
Mhm. So, right, it's a good question. So, how we make it better?
Mm-hmm.
So, several ways. Because almost at the core, the destruction aspect we know it's the extreme side that gets you to wake up, right? So you would see
Mm-hmm.
shit like maybe like Lil Durk. Lil Durk got so many people around him who have died. Like you would almost think this nigga is a walking curse, right? But then you would see Lil Durk is like, yeah, let me kind of start squashing this shit with NBA Young Boy. Let me, start, kind of moving different in a sense, right? But it took a lot of fucking death to make that happen. Now, does killing more people make it better in a sense? No, but it serves its purpose, and I understand that. The beautiful thing though is our conscious. We have a right to dictate that we can stop this shit all today and make it a utopia if we desire to do that as a collective. The answer is on several fronts. It really is. Everybody has an aspect of the truth. They do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna act like they don't. I think the Morris people got a certain aspect of the truth. It works. It gets people squared away, start getting people qualified in understanding jurisprudence and law. Um, I know cats who legally didn't have to pay taxes because they filed a certain status and did some things and whatnot, and it became beneficial, and they started waking up in certain ways. I know people who joined the Nation of Islam and stopped eating pork, and then next thing you know, they start to put themselves on a particular path. I know people who are community organizers and do things for the youth. So there's a whole bunch of things that we can do. To me, the zodiac wheel encompasses all of reality in my book. It's universal law, it's the real law. And so there's 12 different ways we can handle this, ladies and gentlemen. We can handle it from a military standpoint through to Islam. We fucking you up if you if I find out somebody fucking up something in the community, we fucking you up. Period. We thrashing you. And that's just what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? So we can get busy on some force, Aries type of vibe. We can start changing things on some money, some economic type of vibe, which is a beautiful renaissance is taking place. Outside of this shit, we got to really pay attention to, like, there is a major renaissance that is taking place in the realm of real estate. And like seriously, there's so many Instagram people that's making it, doing courses and literally showing people. Don't mean some of these niggas ain't lying and stealing your money and shit, but it's still some testimonials from some lot of schools of thought where people are moving in the realm of becoming more financially empowered. So then you got that aspect of it. You got the Gemini aspect of it that's dealing with teaching and showing information and doing a thing. um, you got, the family unit that needs to come together and understand some shit, and that's where it all starts in this sense. You got Leo side of it that deals with, love and relationships and with the children, but how to properly be in love and romance. You got a major health renaissance that is taking place especially since the advent of, Dr. Sabi and your Queen of Fuas and Yaki, and you got a whole bunch of health monsters out here, You know what I'm saying? We can go all the way around the zodiac wheel, and to me, these 12 ministries are really your real, like, your real in Revelations they call it seven churches in a sense, but to me, the real 12 disciples are these 12 ministries that we can literally set up based off of cosmic law in a sense and get us moving and grooving. So it depends on what your ministry is. Now, I believe the priesthood ministry absolutely needs to be very active in the conjuring up of the image in the direction you wish the nation to go upon. In other words, the priesthoods need to really start meeting on consistent basis, going to sacred locations, certain mountain spots, certain locations that are extremely magnetic and powerful, and casting your intent. Now, when we start doing things like um, um, placebos and gas prices going down, or prayer for Chicago, and then all of a sudden there's a week where nobody get killed. Like, what? How that happened? You know what I'm saying? But it happened, and it happened during the time you was purposely doing a visualization on this shit using a certain color. This shit is real. So the priesthood got to do their part. Everybody got to understand what their particular ministry is and do their job in a sense, especially those of the spiritual order. You know what I'm saying? Because the invisible always influences the visible. So if I say, listen, hey, 2013, we going to Stone Mountain, and we gonna deal with the Confederate symbols that's on Stone Mountain. And so I just want to kind of clean up the mountain on the spiritual tip. I want to get that dirty energy off of it. The next thing you know, April 2013, not even a whole month later, a petition surfaced to remove the faces off Stone Mountain. Then we go back in 2015 on July 11th, and then the Friday we get in town, the Confederate flag is missing. That Friday we get there. You know what I'm saying? And so the spiritual unit got hella work to do, but all ministries, these 12 ministries, got work to do. And so for me personally, that's how we do it. And the goal is to build a spiritual place that we all can come to. And so for those of us that's more on, more of the spiritual cloak in the sense, you know what I mean, we got something to do in a sense. But yeah, that's how we fix it. You get busy, you call it out, and we just got to know who's who in what position. You know what I'm saying? Who's the general? When I say general, like who's carrying that energy of rank up, get in formation. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it's the Nation of Islam, without a shadow of a doubt. That's the executive branch of this thing. I always said it. I said, when you look in consciousness, when black people wake up, they really only go into really three main schools of thought in a sense. You gonna go black power and be mad, and you gonna and that's fine. To me, that's more of an executive branch. Then you're gonna go more science. You're gonna start dealing with this aboriginal law thing, your status at law. That's great. That's the legislative branch of government. These niggas really know how to deal with law. You know what I'm saying? To me, if you start looking at the bylaws, what do it take to make a village in a city? Like, you can go into a part of the county that's not a city, and then you can say, hey, this county is unincorporated. We can actually make this a village if we get 10,000 people to sign this petition, and now this is a village. Like, we can do that. So if y'all paying attention to me, you will see me like, okay, I'm buying everything around me, because I say, yo, I don't give a fuck if we call it a village or whatever it is. They don't have to be one legally in a sense, but it's gonna be ours. Only thing I got to do is keep on doing what I'm doing, put shit on it, and say, all right, this is ours. This is where we at in a sense, right? So you got that aspect of it. And then you're gonna go to some school of spiritual thought. You're gonna be Hebrew Israelite, you're gonna go to Nation of Islam, you're gonna go to something that's connecting you to a higher power. So let's just call that of the spiritual order. So the spiritual people got work to do, as I just outlined. So you got the executive, the enforcers that's going to protect what the legislators actually put into play and what we build. You see what I'm saying? And then you got the spiritual people who are really supposed to serve as the advisors, as the Supreme Court does. You got to run this triangle offense. That's all. Copy and paste. That's it.
Do you feel like we can do that on American soil without?
Fuck yeah. American soil is all about it. America is all about states. We got 50 of them. We'd love to give you a 51st if you get some balls, nigga. Like, you like the men got to get balls. Like, if you get balls and blow your bullhorn loud enough, we'll give you a 51st state. That's no problem. We have 50 of them. We will give another one. It's no problem. No problem. There's going to be no opposition to that. That's why if you see Trump is like, listen, we about to build 10 new tech cities and we about to go buy a lot of these lands from the federal government and buy those federal government lands, and then we'll start building these cities out of that shit. Hell yeah, they'd do it.
Do you feel like there would be a chance of a repeat of what's happened before when we built towns and they burned them down?
Nope.
Why
Absolutely
do you
not.
feel that way?
Nope. Not in our timeline. Nope.
No?
Nope. Ku Klux Klan ain't got no power. The Confederates ain't got no power. You know what I'm saying? That ain't happening.
Do you feel like the government has power?
The government has power, but listen, the government, this government, see, you're gonna make me get on my documentary shit. This government has always been for the freedom of all of its citizens. That's hard to believe when you're like, how can you say that when we started as slaves here? But that wasn't under the United States government. That was under King George and the British American colonies.
Okay.
I point people attention to 1774 Articles of Association. Read point number 2. This is before Declaration of Independence, before the American Revolutionary War. Point number 2 says, we wholeheartedly discontinue messing with the slave trade come this next December. We done with it, George. We ain't hiring no boats. We ain't dealing with nothing dealing with slavery. We don't want your syrup. We don't want your molasses. We don't want your sugar and spices from the East Indian Tea Company. We don't want nothing to do with it. We done with slavery. This is before the first shot was fired to start the American Revolutionary War. So they had a concept already to start a new nation that wasn't going to have slavery. Now, the South objected to this, as we know, and then later when it became a major conflict in the 1850s, going into the 1860s to the Civil War, it's time to address this issue. We can no longer put it off. It bubbled to this point where it's too hot. It's boiling over. Now let's go to war about it. And they got their ass whooped. And I can point your attention to, only thing you got to do is go read Mississippi's secession speech. Mississippi said, listen, the United States government, we got a right to leave the United States government because the United States government has always been interfering with the state's right to have slaves. We'd like to point your attention to the 1787 Northwest Land Ordinance, where the United States government said no slaves are allowed to be in the new territory north of the Ohio River, called Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin. The United States government is saying no. Mississippi was like, see, this is proof. The United States of America don't want us to have slaves, and this is not right. We're leaving you, America. This is what Mississippi is saying. South Carolina said the word slave 18 times in their secession speech. The United States federal government has always been behind us. Hence, when Martin Luther King came, he had General Henry Graham of the National Guard come down and protect him. This is the United States National Guard, protect him against the local Alabama, Mississippi county sheriffs, state highway patrol, and the locals who was in against niggas and the Freedom Riders. And so the National Guard militarized themselves, and martial law happened against the white boy. The martial law never happened against niggas. Niggas ain't never had the National Guard come and get down on them. You see the National Guard show up when you start rioting and tearing up shit. but you don't see them coming putting work in on you. You know what I'm saying? And they always been down with us. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it can happen in this time, and ain't nothing gonna happen to it. You know what I'm saying? See, this is what I can say, right? This is what I can say, and I kind of appreciate this. I appreciate the gay community because what the gay community did was they weakened the infrastructure of which you can build in society. No, it's strange, but this is chess to me. So to me, and it's not to belittle them, they were the pawns in the game to go. If you know how chess worked, they killed the infrastructure. And so now we can get access to the back line easy. It's easy to build now. Nobody's coming and doing something. And even if somebody come and do something, smack the shit out of them. Get out of here, nigga. Like stop being a punk ass and being bullied. I don't get that part. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's coming to bother you.
Hmm.
What you say, Fifth House? I see you come back in here. Oh, can't hear you. What you got? What you got going on? You got to unmute your mic. Oh, hold on. There you go. Clove got the windstorm going.
Is there
Huh?
an echo?
Say it again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit.
Is there an echo?
No, it ain't no echo. That was Clove. She got a windstorm going on. She in the middle of a tsunami or something. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's an echo on my end, but I just kind of want to. I kind of just. I need to have America take some responsibility for a minute, like, and
Who gonna take some responsibility?
yeah, like, let's just be real. It's not coincidence that the video that you just showed with the young man who now killing two of his friends, right?
Right.
Out there. Why is music that even allowed to broadcast it? Like, why is it that the music industry allows certain messages to be perpetuated to our culture, to our community over and over again? You know what I mean? I couldn't stop. I was saying earlier, I couldn't stop listening to certain artists, certain people. Their music. I love Tony Braxton. I listened to her, as a little girl. But when I became tapped in, listening to her lyrics, all her lyrics, the man leaving her and she crying at home, and you ain't a man, and it's just negativity that's constantly perpetuated around this broadcasted to our community.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you mentioned the thing about slavery. Well, the 15th Amendment really is slavery. We don't want nothing to do with abolish slavery unless you're locked up. And then they make a point lock up brothers and sisters more than anyone else.
Okay. So I'm hearing some of you because your microphone
I'm sorry.
it's not it's not necessarily the greatest. So I heard some of it. I'm hearing music industry perpetuating, the bullshit. To me, in my opinion, music industry and government are two totally separate things because government doesn't necessarily regulate and have to give a stamp of approval of every single thing. Like every single thing don't run the government. We know today I can make shit right now, load it up on YouTube and shoot up bang bang and I kill the Ku Klux Klan. When I get in my rap mode, that's what I do. I go shoot up the Ku Klux Klan, right? Various platforms, SoundCloud, whatever. It just don't go through a government check. So to me, we in a capitalist society where government does not intervene. Now, when you got the music machine, the corporation itself, now these are individuals who are definitely benefiting and eating off of the bullshit. In fact, they may tell you, hey, nigga, you need a rapper kit. You need the gold chain. You need the Rolex. You need to look like this because this is what sells. We don't want to hear, I need love. We don't want to hear poor righteous teacher. We don't want to hear none of that shit. The new wave and the money is the gang, gang, bang, bang, shoot them up. That's what it is, right? But to me, it's weak in the sense of, nah, I don't have to say. See, that's the thing. You're dependent upon my art to make you relative. You can't make no money unless it's my art. And since we in control of what we say and what we produce, the buck stops here with us, not with the people who, the people who want to, have that kind of art and talk about that kind of pain in that way. And just because they got all the money behind them and it looked like they got the glory because they got money and shit, like the culture itself needs to, take a chin check and take self responsibility because we don't have to produce that art. It's the same thing with, like, we had a conversation before that, the CIA brung in dope, but the CIA didn't make us sell dope. And like, didn't say nigga sell this dope. In fact, they tell you, like, nigga, you fuck with this dope, this gonna carry 10 years. But if you got a gram less than that, you may just get 5, nigga. So when you rolling, you want to roll this way. Like, they gave you the rules to the game and say, hey, don't fuck with this because this would be punishment. And to me, I just, it's like, okay, it comes back to self. Like, it's like you said in the very first video, self-awareness, self. It was coming back to self. What a coincidence. When we really understand the 12 zodiacal frequencies, the first rule is self. It ain't nobody else. It ain't the law. It ain't the government. It ain't none of that. It's self. That's the number one thing. So when I see the music aspect, I think it's more self-accountability, but absolutely it's people that promotes it, lobbyists in every sector of life is up at the government paying shit off. Because see, that's the thing. The government of itself ain't printing its own money. The government is passing bills and getting money from the people to do what it do, but it's not a dictatorship. It's a democracy of capitalism that ultimately comes out of the taxpayer's dollar and whatnot. But yeah, you're gonna have greedy people, and that's absolutely true, and greedy people are benefiting from it. I would like to think we have more power because without my voice, there's no art. Without no art, there's no money. So I'm the activative force and they're the reactive force. They're the yin in this position. And we as the artists are the yang. And since we're the yang, we're the spark. So without the spark, it ain't no game. You see what I'm saying? It's how I see the dynamic of that relationship. Then I heard you say something about, so you mentioned the 13th Amendment. So the 13th Amendment is not cool, but it's not as people project it to be. So that documentary on Netflix, great documentary, but I disagree with it because people act like the 13th Amendment is a trick to get Black people into slavery. That's not a trick, ladies and gentlemen, because again, the 13th Amendment says, hey, servitude is allowed when you break the law and you go to motherfucking prison. So now it's called, you're going to be in a sweatshop making license plates for 25 cents an hour. I don't think that's real form of rehabilitation when you don't compensate a person. I think you should at least compensate them with minimum wages for the state so they can have some type of living, some type of skill set, and then go ahead and be able to come out of that situation more corrected. In my opinion, you shouldn't be able to exploit them. But this goes for white people too. In fact, there's more white people locked up than there are Black people locked up because there's just way more white people than Black people, right? So now, how is that slavery? How it ain't racism now at that particular point, but it's absolutely a form of indentured servitude. But that indentured servitude only comes when you break the law. So if you don't break the law, that can't even affect you. And everybody know when you breaking the law. You ain't trying to get caught with this work. You ain't trying to, you just know when you being bogus. So if you don't do bogus shit, you ain't going to be out of bounds and it ain't going to apply to you. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not a fan of the 13th Amendment compensation. I'm a fan, you do something wrong, you got to be punished. That's just what it is, right? But the form of compensation is definitely needs to be readjusted and whatnot, but it's absolutely not some type of trick just for black people when white people are affected more than we are. And then again, like I said, the only thing you got to do is stay your black ass out of trouble. You won't have that problem. So,
Can I interject? I'm sorry.
yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
She froze.
It's not just on black people because the movies that they put out, it's not just black people. The news, if you notice, they'll talk about negativity all day. It's something that they are trying to, and I know that you and Minister Julie, y'all not into the collective, the programming stuff. I get it, but if we're going to be completely honest, there's definite programs. The television created at the time that it was for a certain reason to start these programs. Okay, that's why they're called programs. Television programs, and they definitely put things out there for us to visualize, for us to see, that will impact our programming, that will impact our mentality. So, once you become awakened, then you realize that, oh, okay, this is what's happening. So I'm not going to take any part of that. But there is something going on.
It is. I agree with that 1,000%. I agree. I agree with you. I'm never gonna say there's no program, and I heard you say it last night. Like, I'm not naive enough to believe that it ain't racism. Like, we just like to but it's easy, right? So it is something going on, right? But I think it's a copy and paste thing too, though, right? It's like, what's the formula? So the formula is, oh, we put something in the movie, a motion action, a motion picture, and then in the Simpsons, oh, it come true. Oh shit. So the game is, if we want to reverse this, let's put out a movie that depicts whatever it is we want to depict and then see if that comes true. So I definitely think it's something going on, because we always gonna have that polarity that you mentioned earlier. We always gonna have Judas. We always going to have Amalek in the Bible. You're always going to have those opposing forces, the Edomites. You're going to have these opposing forces that want to fight you, Israel, the righteous ones, or whatever the case may be, whatever you styled under. It's inevitable. You're going to have that. So we absolutely acknowledge that for sure. Something's going on. I agree with you. I ain't in opposition to that. The question is, fifth house, how do you nullify it?
Well, yeah, through awakening and self-awareness and self-consciousness and learning. But everybody's not here. I mean, what I'm getting is that you're saying everyone was incarnated during this time to awaken. And there may be some truth to that, because everybody goes through something at some point to help them feel that contrast and then decide, to move higher from that energy, from that dark energy. But what about the ones who don't? Are they necessarily the ones that are here to make us watch and see what's going on and then say, that just don't feel right in my spirit, I don't want nothing to do with that? It's not coincidence that the news, they basically just pour out negativity. They may have one blur about, oh, this cat was saved in a tree, but the majority of the information they put out is negative. And you got people who watch that shit every day.
Yeah, my dad. Yeah.
Especially the baby boomers.
Yeah.
But why are they doing that? You think they don't know? Like Chloe was saying, you think the government don't know what's going on?
Oh yeah. No, they know. The Democrats definitely know. They play on you the hardest, without a shadow of a doubt. They know. They play certain cards on you. Absolutely, they know. It is programming, without a shadow of a doubt. It creates something called negativity bias, where you gravitate towards the negative now before you do the positive. Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
wired to that negativity.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they die that way, and then they come back, they reincarnate, and then they got to do it all over again.
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
But
I know.
is that the game? Like, is that the game?
I think the game is reincarnation until you awake, you know. And then I think, you know, some people obviously ain't gonna get it. They ain't gonna get it. It's gonna be a couple go rounds. They ain't gonna get it. They're gonna be, you know, they're gonna be the agitator in a sense. They're gonna be doing that crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I think it's the game.
So when we see that, when we know, those of us at a high level of consciousness, when we know, okay, there is a game, and not everybody is going to be playing on the side that we playing on, so they're not going to know these things. They're not going to be tapped into the occult wisdom and the occult knowledge to elevate themselves. So the ones who are still playing on that opposing side, do we judge them?
Do we judge them?
Yeah.
Yeah, get your dumb ass now. I'm just playing. So, I mean, I don't know what you mean by judge. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you mean by judge.
Do we do we call them stupid niggas? Like, do we do that? Do we say, these knuckleheads? Do we do that, or do we just, allow the polarity? Because at in some notion it's kind of needed.
Yeah. Some notion, yeah, it is needed. I say both. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you stupid ass nigga, wake up. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nothing wrong. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm like, it's a state. You stupid right now. It's a state. It's crazy, you know. And when we grow up, we kind of it usually happen when we grow up and we kind of look back and shit. Like, God damn, I was a crazy young stupid nigga. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's nothing wrong with that aspect of judgment. Nor do I think it's something wrong with the part of judgment that, and I think everybody do this, right? We don't necessarily put ourselves in the same environment with shit that is, shit that don't vibe with us. You know what I'm saying? That's judgment. You know what I'm saying? And I think we got a right to do that. You know what I mean? In Islam, that's called furqan, which is, righteous discrimination. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just ain't about to throw pearls to swine. You know what I'm saying? It just ain't happening. You know what I mean? Every flock mix of his own. We ain't really mixing like that. You know what I mean? And to me, that's judgment. So I think it's several ways we can judge that is appropriate. I always think, man, honestly, that the don't judge me thing became an ego way to want to stay protected. The ego wanted to stay on this bullshit. So to me, I've always seen it as a defense mechanism. You know what I'm saying? Don't judge me. Don't, you know what I mean? It's like, you judging? And it's like, there's the, like, and I'm not saying the Bible was the be all, end all, be all, but it's very interesting. There's a goddamn book called Judges. And it's very interesting that when there's a problem that you have in society, you're going to court over this problem. And there's a judge, there's somebody's there to deliberate and say, yo, this is what's really going on. And this is the final decree. And it's very interesting to me. I've always said the Supreme Court is the chief justice of the Supreme Court, in my opinion, is the man of the land. It ain't the president. He's the one to swear the president in, and the president got to put his hand on the Bible from that man. That's a spiritual position. Nobody is supposed to have more knowledge about the law or which right and which wrong in society than this person right here. It's a very lofty position of wisdom. So judges are necessary. Wake your dumb ass up, nigga. You being judged. Yeah, it's necessary. That's what I feel like. It's necessary. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
All right. I'm not gonna get all political stuff.
Yay, man.
But I just feel like there's some higher powers that know certain things. Last night,
I agree.
Last night, you guys did a video, and he did a clip of the young man who was interviewing the Simpsons writer, right?
Yeah.
And that Simpsons writer stated something, I'm paraphrasing, but something along the lines like, we got a group of geniuses to tap in with the oracles.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah.
So those of us who understand what that means is that they working with some powers here. They're working with some occult shit that we are not privy to until we tap into it. They don't teach it in school. They don't talk about it in church. So there's certain things that are purposely hidden from us. Why?
Right.
If the goal here is for all of us to be awakened, and you know that from the practices and the spiritual practices and things that you've studied, there's a reason why a lot of stuff is hidden. It's everybody ain't supposed to know it.
I agree. I don't. Yeah, everybody ain't gonna know it. It's impossible for everybody to know it all at the same time, anyway. Like,
Right. So those who don't know it, is there a reason why the creator would allow that? If it's causing, if it's going to cause so much destruction and chaos and drama, why is that even allowed?
That's interesting. And so I think that the only way I can see that, and I kind of piggyback off this, and I'm gonna come back to that, is this chat right here in the chat. Like Ninth Wonder said, "Hey, I think we're all here to learn at different times and levels."
I agree.
Yeah, right. So then the overall program could be, "Hey, it's for your evolution," but you're not going to get it because this is not your Bible and Quran likes to point to this thing called appointed time. This is not your appointed time. This is not your season within your development for you to become the hero. This is this part of your phase where you be the asshole. You know what I'm saying? So that's that's just it's not your time. You know what I mean? It's just not, because everything do have what we would call time in a season. And so everybody can't get it at the same time. And that's why, again, it kind of go back to that Jesus thing. It's like, no. I pray for these people who roll with me. That's who I roll with. You know what I mean? My circle is small. I ain't praying for the whole world. I'm praying for these people right here. This is my flock right here. You know what I'm saying? So everybody ain't gonna get it. Like if the Christ story should have told us anything, like, God damn, nigga, y'all gonna do that to this dude? Like, what the dude do? Like, what that dude wasn't like David. He ain't murder dude. Like, he ain't do nothing bogus. Dude was putting in some beautiful work. Like, what he do? Motherfuckers was sick, no longer sick. Motherfuckers was healed. Like, what he do to deserve that? Now y'all gonna do that to that? Oh shit, you gonna always have opposition down here. Shit. You gonna I got that story clear. Like, oh, no matter what state you reach, you just gonna have some people that's just in opposition. It's the natural order of this particular place.
Right. I agree. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this particular subject is because when I first started to come into my self-awareness, I wanted to save everybody.
Yeah.
I wanted everybody to know, and those who were just willingly ignorant, I was like annoyed, like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, y'all are the reason why, I started feeling like that. But what I noticed was that feeling was not of a high vibration. That feeling, it wasn't making me feel good. It was actually, I felt like it was actually contributing to the dark energy.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting.
That feeling was, it was like, okay, am I doing this out of love, or am I doing this because of my ego now?
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it was like, okay, and then as I stepped back and started watching the collective, you have like groups, you have like cliques, and I call them, we got the doom and gloomers, and then you got the love and lighters. And the doom and gloomers, they always talking about the love and lighters, like they always judging the love, and I use that word. They always got something negative to say about the love and lighters. Oh, they always talking about this love stuff. We got to be here to be warriors. Be on that type of time.
tree huggers and shit. Yeah.
And then you got the loving lighters that's just like, just don't sweat it.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, for myself and for sake of saving my soul and making sure that I don't reincarnate back to this bitch, I said, all right, I'm just gonna go with what feels right to me, and to try to save people who really are not on that time. Like, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So if certain people just ain't ready for this type of knowledge,
Right.
let them be.
Let them be, stupid nigga. No, let them be though. Let them be. Knife Wonder said, because when I was woke, I was trying to save and convert everyone too. So you can see that in the chat at the bottom of the screen. He was on the same thing. I was too. Nation of Islam. Shit, we out Bible thumping. Who got that Bible? We about to bust you aside your head. They're like, come on, man, get knowledge yourself. Woo, 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 like you want to, but like you said, hold on, man. Is that ego? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, and it absolutely was ego. So you're correct. And so now you start to feed into that, you know what I mean, unbeknownst to you, because you under the ego's a tricky mug. That's a tricky dude, man.
Yeah, you can have
Tricky.
spiritual ego.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. Absolutely. Clove, you was on mute over there. What you say? You had frogs in your background. I don't know what you working with, Clove. You over there working on some Mexican magic with frogs in Mexico. What you got?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I hear him. Oh yeah. You princessing the frog over there? Yeah.
Oh, but I did have a thought. What what you were saying, Goddess, about the positivity versus the negativity and all the things we experience. That kind of goes back to that clip that Noble put in the group the other day, where him and Minister Jew were talking about us being God. And Alan Watts, in one of his lectures, he talks about how each aspect of existence, each tree, each person, each thing is like an aperture or like a lens through which God gets to see and experience itself in every type of way, good and bad, And there's this book, I forgot what it's called, but I have it in California. It's a hoodoo book, but in the first or second chapter, the author, her name is Louisa Tish. Um, she's a practitioner from New Orleans. She talks about how in some West African religions they refer to God as the mother killer. And when I read that, I was like, that's interesting. Because, I'm a Gemini, so people are always talking about how horrible we are and we're two-faced and we're crazy and we're good and we're evil and all this stuff. So I'm always curious about the way people look at what we determine to be good and bad, because they're, to me, I just see God. And in my mind, I'm like, God will give you a river and the river will help you grow all your food and it'll feed you and nourish you and clean you. And then that same river can drown your baby and kill you, But it's still God, it's still the river, it's still the mother, but it's also the killer. So when we look around and we're seeing so-called positive and so-called negative, I think if you're seeing it all as what God has ordained, you have less of that judgment, because you can say it's good, you can say it's bad, but it's here. So what does it matter? It's here. So that means that you just decide what space you're going to take up, what work you're going to do, because that side is going to be here. God said yes to that. God said yes to the rapist. God said yes to the racist. God said yes.
Oh shit.
So then you
shit,
decide.
Teach
oh
them.
shit, Clove.
These are my Gemini observations. But
Oh shit! Did you just say, girl? I ain't gonna even repeat it. I was saying this shit in 13, and Jew was like, "Nigga, you cannot say that," and I was like, "See, man, I ain't gonna even get started. That's another conversation." Great observation. Great observation.
That's exactly what Joel said, though, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Great observation.
you just decide what space you're going to take up at any given moment. That evil is going to continue. It's going to be there. It's not
Right.
going away. So you do your building and your fellowship in the ways you're able to, with the people you're able to, and you
Yeah.
work. And then, like, you'll come, just like in your individual life, you do your work, you do your building, something comes and knocks it down. That's
Right.
the other side. And then you get back up and you keep working, and then you get more momentum and more strength. And then
Right.
the other side weakens a little bit. But it's always a dance, like the yin and yang. It's always a
Mhm.
dance. You're never going to get rid of all of it. Evil's not going to win, and good isn't going to win. They work together.
Ooh-wee.
So,
And when one win, maybe the whole thing ceased to exist, and we just explode back to the infinite bliss of light.
maybe.
Maybe. Wow. So in other words, save your motherfucking self, everybody.
Mhm.
And those who want to go with you, I guess, right?
Mhm.
Jeez, man. I believe there was something done in 1987 called the harmonic convergence where people gathered all over sacred sites all over the world. They was in Stonehenge, it was down in Mexico, it was everywhere. It's called the harmonic convergence. I would love to live to see the day when melanated nine ether black folks activate your power and all get synchronized on an event. In fact, the question was in the chat, but it's too far up. But I'm gonna answer Bakari's question. He was like, "What's up with Carbondale 2024? Ain't nobody talk about this shit. I put this out 7 years ago, and y'all gonna start seeing it as we get towards the end of the year. You're gonna see mainstream talking about it. And wait, man, I'm looking at my sofa. I hope that's a shadow and that sun ain't burning my leather. Oh, man, but April what? April maybe 9th, April 9th, 2024 is going to be an American eclipse. It's going to crisscross the 2017 eclipse, and it's going to crisscross like an X. So it's that X point is going to be in southern Illinois, and southern Illinois is known as Little Egypt. You can look into that. There's a place called Future City. There's a place called Thebes, as in Thebes, Egypt. There's a city called Cairo, Illinois, which is a Cairo, Egypt. And there's another one called, I forget. It ain't Menefer because that's Memphis. There's another city in southern Illinois that's a direct replica of the name of an Egyptian city. Hence, again, southern Illinois was called Little Egypt. And what's interesting is this eclipse is going to take place in over another city called Makanda, Illinois, like Wakanda, Makanda. And Makanda, Illinois sits inside of Panther Forest, literally, like Panther's Den, if I'm not mistaken. So you got Wakanda, Black Panther, Makanda sits inside of Panther Forest here in Illinois. So, this is the stuff that we look at as from the spiritual angle, and you look at what the heavens is doing, you understand the energy of locations, and then that tells you what you should do. And you have to remember you come from a people, some of us come from a people that got a lineage that deals with putting mask on their face to personify a certain function. So make sure you really stand abreast as we start to get towards April. In fact, you need to book that weekend, or I don't even know what day that is, but you need to book that off and participate, because I ain't came out in years. You know what I'm saying? But But for this one, we need to absolutely, positively do something. And I'm not necessarily, I'm getting back on my old school pre shit where I used to take people to location they didn't even know they was going. I was just like, hey, you got to meet me here. Like, and I give you the play because I don't want negative observers. What we say hating ass broke niggas in a sense. Like looking and y'all up in our mix, you know what I'm saying? We do what we do. So I don't even tell people what we doing like that. You know what I mean? So but yeah, we need to do something early April. Schedule that with your people now. Get off work. You need to tap in on that. So be on the lookout. You over there smoking. You smoking that reefer hydro?
Why are you shouting me like that?
Huh? I see you over there.
I thought that was sage. Seriously?
You over there smoking reefer hydro with your bone thugs. Let's see. What you smoking?
Well, you coming out in April?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely putting a play together on that shit. I said it 7 years ago. It's happening. It's how I'm telling you, like I'm 7 years in the future and shit. Like yeah, coming out in April. May do something in the fall, but I'm me, man. I'm more into some private stuff, man. I'm old now. I just want to chill and be easy in a sense. So
Well, good night, y'all. It was fun.
well, thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you, Noble.
Appreciate you. But yeah, man, I'm gonna get on out of here. It's 11 o'clock. I was like, man, I'm only gonna be on for an hour today. I was like, yeah, right. But anyway, y'all, man, get with me. Join the Patreon if you want to get in, man. Great information coming, more stuff coming. Jew trying to get back on the schedule to come back down again. So I gotta look at that. And I'm gonna drop some stuff. I'm gonna do a powerful joint maybe tomorrow, man. I really want to get into some vulnerable spaces. Salute to Tanisha. Thank you for hooking my dad up with your mom. No, I'm just playing. But about to interview this dude and see if we can get it to some vulnerable spaces. Because if y'all seen the last video, my dad loved a porn star when we had that video, Vanessa, and he was talking about now. Only reason I went to go see her is because I found out your mama was cheating on me. Now I'm gonna leave that right there. He ain't want to leave it right there, trust me. But he did good because usually he'd be running off at the mouth. But I want to talk about his pain, his truth, and how men process pain. You know what I mean? A lot of young women don't know that a lot of men hurt behind women too, and I think that's the purpose of a lot of this angry shit that you see in what they call the manosphere. You know what I'm saying? The manosphere, like you see a lot of angry men because society has taught us that we have to suppress our emotion, and there's been this horrible, horrible misalignment between the sexes where honestly speaking, in my opinion, a lot of women, y'all may suffer from emotional abuse, but men suffer from logical abuse. And it's no abuse is greater than the other abuse. The point is, men suffer. And part of the healing process is that has to be revealed, that has to be talked about. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to this next conversation that's coming. So make sure you tap in with us. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Clove. Thank you, the Fifth House, Vita Moore in there, Royalty, Sister Matu Netter, Knife Wonder, everybody that was in the building, Bakari, Just Blaze, everybody, man. I appreciate y'all. And yeah, man. Hopefully we can do a video tomorrow, man. I may do something to show y'all something out in the field, man. Knife Wonder, my guy, everybody, man. But Indigo Earth Angel, Tasha Glow. Appreciate you. And yeah, man, I'll get with y'all later. All right, peace.